Good day everyone, Rodney here from Titan Sewing. Just going to introduce you here to some needles. I want to just give you the basic needle knowledge so that we know what we're talking about when we talk about different needles. So here, this is a demonstrator needle for household. It has a flat side on it, so please disregard that. I know it's difficult to imagine, but this is a pretty simple needle. So we're going to just go through some names on the different parts of needle. Here is the butt. This is the part that goes straight into your machine, and it should stop right up against the machine. The shank, this is where the machine grabs a hold of the needle and clamps on. The shaft is this portion there all the way up to the eye. This is determined by the size, and we'll talk about that in a minute. We have the long groove that runs the face of the needle all the way to the eye. The tip, which is determined by what kind of material we're working with and what kind of leather or microfibers or jersey. This can change. And then if we rotate around, you can see one of the most important parts right here. This little crevice or indent is called the scarf. Now this scarf is very, very important in creating stitches. We can talk about that in a little bit, but this is important to note because this will always face your shuttle system. On every sewing machine that has a shuttle or even a looper, as far as that goes, your scarf should always face your looper or your shuttle. So that's the important part to remember. Households have the flat side on them, industrials do not. So we always have to pay attention to this location here. When we come back and talk to the shaft size, when I mentioned that earlier, we were talking about the different size of needles. So when you come in and order needles or you do it online, it's important to understand what the size means. So when we say things like 100/16 or 160/23, the first number in that area, the 100 or the 160, is a metric number, and behind the slash is an imperial number. So on the front we say 100. That would mean that this shaft here is 1 millimeter thick. Alternatively, in a 160, this would be 1.6 millimeters thick. So you can see how it's important to know the size of the needle you're working with, the material you're working with, how thick of the thread is, things like that, because those are all important elements when actually stitching, because obviously if you were sewing something light, you wouldn't want a big needle hole to penetrate through. That would just look bad. And then alternatively, if you're using a small needle on something thick, you'd be breaking a lot of needles or causing a lot of skippage. And that can be inappropriate for you as well. So we're going to talk about threads in a little bit here, but I just wanted to give you the lowdown on the needles so you can understand a little bit more. If you have questions, you can certainly email us, hit the link, or you can contact us, give us a call, and we'll go from there. Thanks for your time.